Okay, so we're live. Welcome back to the Magic Minds podcast. I'm Matt Burke. You're watching and listening to the Liberties #1 podcast. Podcast stories that have the power to inspire. And today I have for me and hopefully for you an inspirational podcast episode with me pal, a man that I love deeply now. Someone I love deeply now.
It took a minute.
Mr. Tommy Ellis. Tommy, what's the crack?
Great to be here. Thanks very much for having me on your podcast. I look forward to the conversation.
Oh, I think you're going
I'm looking forward to this conversation. I love having this conversation. What other conversation is there?
When you say that, what do you mean? Are you saying, do you mean just truth?
The truth, an exploration of consciousness. What are we doing here? How are people getting on?
Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. Put your seatbelts on.
You know, where are we going? What are we talking about? What's going on? The nature of reality, the nature of truth. So I am into, it's the only conversation I want to have. I'm not interested in any other things.
Yeah.
You know?
I am, like, honestly, and I'm not blowing smoke up your hollow, I'm buzzing.
Oh,
like,
me too.
I'm on fire. I'm lit up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah, it's great.
It's nearly 2 years ago since myself and Tommy done the last.
Is it, yeah?
Yeah. So I had Tommy on. If you haven't listened to it, it's addiction to your own biochemistry, aka addiction to your own bullshit. Me and Tommy had only started kind of working together then.
Yeah.
We literally only started working together. And I listened back to the podcast and I loved it, but it was very apt to where I was at right now.
Yeah.
So we've been doing
But
this
what
work.
about the change in you over 2 years?
Yeah.
Like, it's not the same thing.
No.
It's not the same thing.
No.
The change in you, in your life, like, come on, man. That's radical.
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 Like, you physically things have changed. You know, geographically things have changed.
Yeah.
Biochemically, psychological, physiological,
Everything.
social.
Yeah.
Like they're a world
Yeah.
apart.
Yeah.
They're just a whole different world.
Yeah. It's when people even start to understand a small piece, a modicum of what we're talking about, and you kind of get curious. Like, say to yourself during this podcast, say, like, is he full of shit? Is he delusional? Let me find out if what this man is saying is the truth. Is what Matt is saying, is that true? Is what Tommy is saying, is that true? What is it that they're talking about right now? And then just grab that little modicum of truth and go find out for yourself. And when you start to find out for yourself, you're going to start unpacking something.
See what I think people may have a difficulty with this, because what you say and what you're asking us them to do is at a very intellectual level for people, right? And I would have been at that with you. I would thought, you're full of bollocks, Tommy. That's shy. You look like the devil.
Yeah.
You're only after me money. You know, you're a carrot and donkey. Come on, no, this is the way. This is the way. I'm like, fuck off.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I'm now at a point that I actually feel it,
Yeah, you get it.
experience it, live it. So it takes a bit of a going through the brimstone, walking over coal
Yeah.
to get there. But I think it's a great thing you said. Yeah, be curious. Ask, is this bullshit? Is Tommy telling spoofs? Is Matt like, here, this is a bit far-fetched?
Yeah. And it's good to just ask yourself those questions, see what's as real can be for you when it's investigated, and you'll see where it goes. But anybody that picks this up and kind of goes, okay, I'd like to feel a little better in my day-to-day life. I'd like to actually have a goal that I'm heading towards that I feel like is a realistic place. I'm here, I'd like to get there. How does that work? And we know how it works. It's painting by numbers. It's actually simple. The execution isn't simple. The path is simple. The execution within the stages of the path, that's not simple, because you're going to have to go through a death process, which is the death of the personality structure that you've taken yourself to be. That never was, but you took yourself to be it. So it really is interesting as an idea to transmit these ideas to people and go, when they can start letting go of certain things they've believed about themselves when they get challenged, then it can go places. Because when a part of you drops away, you're going to get relief from that antagonist in your body. It's negation. You're not going to go from feeling like a muppet in the morning, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., you feel like the same muppet you've always been, right? You're a muppet in the Muppet Show. Here we go, Kermit, all day long, right? You wake up and you're about to go off and running into the world as the same thing. You're being dragged from Billy to Jack with every thought and every feeling. What we're trying to do is get people to just curate and think a little bit about the thoughts and feelings that are moving out into your day. And when you can kind of go, when you say no to say no to Kermit, the frog that's been moving through you since God was a boy, when you say no to that muppet, then actually what happens is your 9 a.m. feels good. Now it's going to take a minute to get there because Kermit, he's tooled up. He's tooled up. He's got armor. He's ready. And you've been believing this muppet as it's been moving through you since 1979. It was never true, but you just took it to be true. So we're questioning what's true, what isn't true, and how we can change the chemistry in your body so that you get to have a nicer day. When you get to have a nicer day, then you're nicer to the fella that's working in Centra. You're nicer to the girl that's working in Lidl. That's what happens. It's a broadcast and frequential idea.
And it's interesting that we're actually now starting with that, because before we hit the camera, I had just said that to you. Because Kermit, me, woke up this morning, historically looking for a problem. The beautiful, kind, gentle being that's beside me, and she's not a problem, but she woke up and said something, done something, and Kermit went, here we go, did, and I watched the show go off.
Or the Muppet shows.
Yeah, that was going off
right?
my
so
brain.
That music starts.
Yeah,
right?
and then I was
Off it
believing
goes.
everything happened, you know. Now, if you would have said, you did say this to me 2 years ago, I'm like, God, that's a bit far-fetched. I nearly jumped onto that Muppet Show this morning, but within 20 minutes, 25 minutes, we had ended the show.
You had ended
Ended
that
the show.
inside of you.
Inside of myself, I says, no, this
20
ain't.
minutes.
20 minutes
That's
was
quick.
the refractory period.
That's quick.
I sat outside here, Brown had texted me, blah, 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 and I sent her back a message saying, I love you, we're good, I'm going to have the best day.
Yeah.
That wasn't like that 2 years ago.
Yeah, no.
So
You thought I was lying.
I thought you were full of shit. And I told you so lots of times. That's bollocks. I don't, and I used to sit there, side head, looking at you going, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
But it does work, and it takes a bit of time.
It takes a bit of time. And it mightn't be a bad idea to tell people the basics of what we mean by the refractory period, right? Yeah. So we got a lion and a female lion, and you have a gazelle. The gazelle picks up on the lion being in the long grass and the predator chases the prey. The female lion chases after the gazelle and they go high speed at a high clip. They are full of the hormones of stress in order to get breakfast, get lunch, get dinner, whatever the female lion is doing. Now, if the gazelle, which they often do, gets away from the lion, so the gazelle has gone from a grazing period, there's a lion, I need to run, the gazelle runs. Now, it outruns the lion gets tired, female lions get tired quite quickly in the run. And what happens is the gazelle spots, okay, the lion is tired, they're not coming after me anymore. When that gazelle goes from a baseline of I'm okay, to I'm going to die, to I'm okay again is 20 minutes. It's 20 minutes. That's what it takes, 20 to 30 minutes for that gazelle to return to a baseline of chemistry where it's back to rest, digest, and grazing. That's what it takes. That is what's known as the refractory period. So when we talk about it in human terms, The Muppet Show ignites in Matt at something, there's a stimulus and a response. It could have come from anywhere. It could have come from a text message. It could have come from an email. It could have come from your partner. It comes, there's a stimulus and a response. Okay, but this is not a death situation. So let me collapse this wave function. Let me collapse the refractory period. 20 minutes, I'm back to feeling okay. That's it. That's if people understood how to do that inside of themselves, everything gets better for you that day.
Incredibly. Like that refractory period probably would have took me days, would have went into weeks. I would have stored. If we think I'm standing in the middle of a circle, the refractory period used to be like out here, like Uranus, fucking Pluto. Now it's minimal.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
And I can return back to homeostasis, back to balance quite quickly. How do I do that? I don't keep pouring petrol on the fire. I don't keep thinking, feeling, and I don't keep exasperating the problem that I've already created. I am the creator of this problem. I took responsibility. And my response to that being was, I can only take responsibility for my response to a stimulus.
That's it.
And you're innocent. I'm going to take charge of this.
Yeah.
This is over. Stop.
Yeah. And another word for that is parenting. That's what you did. Parenting.
Right.
That's what it is. You parented an aspect of you that needed that guidance, that needed that walkthrough, that needed that. That's what you did. So what you did is you actually changed history, your history, because now you're not, your history would have led up to that refractory period going on for weeks. When you actually collapse it, now you've met the parent, which is you. Okay, now you don't need the butcher, baker, candlestick maker. You don't need the ayahuasquero, the curandero, you don't need that. You just got you.
And you know what the great part about this? I'm just feeling and witnessing myself here. I feel really confident sitting with you right now in comparison to last time, because I didn't know that I was very unconsciously untruthful to myself. And when you get up in the morning, the Muppet Show starts and this being is beside you and you love them and you start blaming them for what's going on in you. But when you take responsibility and you own your own shit, you are living the truth. And when I would have sat with you 2 years ago, I wouldn't have been of that. That wouldn't have been my experience. So inside unconsciously, I would have felt, oh, I'm a spoof for myself because I blame other people on stuff. Now I tell the truth and know I'm very confident in myself when I sit here. I've got more autonomy because I call stuff out because it's lies. I'm blaming this being for saying something. She done nothing. She didn't create this.
She has absolutely...
I projected this onto her.
Yeah.
And when you be honest and say, it's not her problem, it's not her fault. Own your own shit.
Exactly. And to be able to navigate your morning with the person that you love and with the person that loves you, to be able to navigate your morning in such a way that you can kind of have a bump in the road real quick, and then you can spot the actual energy in you that wants to pour petrol on that thing and wants to kind of, has a proclivity. People need to understand that when that argument starts, there's a very, very, very addictive chemistry that goes on in the body that's like an addiction to crack. It's like an addiction to any sort of street drug. It's addictive. And it's going to convince you, say the next thing to her, do the next thing. You're the one that has to be right. It's trying to, in a jungle fashion, it's trying to really get you into a position where I'm right and you're fucking wrong. That's what it's trying to do. And all day.
And I sat there, I'm not going to Ken and Patricia's tonight, fuck them. I'm not going anywhere, she can go on her own, I'm just going to go fishing. But I wasn't in it. I was watching it going, wow. I was sitting looking at a blossom tree, just sitting there going, as you would say, I grabbed the popcorn and I sat. And I went off and I'm just watching, I'm waiting. I said, I'm just going to wait, I'm just going to wait, I'm just going to wait. And I went downstairs and it moved past. It's incredible. Incredible. I never thought we could get this point. And I've done all the therapy, I've done years of therapy, years of holotropic, we spoke about other modalities, and nothing helps you like parenting yourself.
And you see, the bouncing off place, if you take yourself to be the Muppet and you're angry, you're rageful, and you go out into your day, eventually your body is going to say to you, we need help. And as this energy, as this rage has moved through you, now you're going to go look for help. But the very starting point was a false reference. It's a false reference. If you don't see the false reference, then what's going to happen is you're going to go to the therapist and you're going to speak about what's not happening to the therapist for a decade. And then you're going to go, no, she's no use. I'm going to go to him. He's a psychologist. Oh, that's different. Now I'm going to go to him for 5 years. But you don't understand that the movement in you to that person and that psychedelic and that medicine, that was a false reference. That move was a movement into the fight or flight system that didn't need to happen. It's a business. It's a business.
If you trace back my time lapse this morning, when I opened my eyes,
yeah,
I was looking for a problem. And when you look for something, you are going to get it. So you have to take responsibility. You started this.
Yeah. And there's a part of the system called the reticular activating system. And when you wake up and your body is like, your body is waking up from the grandest psychedelic there's ever been, called sleep. You're waking up from you've been in another realm, right? Your body doesn't like other realms. It only likes this realm. So it wakes up and it's like, what just happened? Where was I for the last 8 hours? Okay, so something's wrong. Something's wrong. Step out of bed, a little bit of cortisol. Something's wrong. No, there's nothing wrong. And off it goes. And everything's wrong. The kettle's wrong. The coffee's wrong. Everything's wrong. I haven't got enough money. Now it's the next thing. She's wrong. She's definitely up to something. Who's she texting? Who's she texting? And off it goes. And before you know it, you're absolutely mental. And it's only 9:15 in the morning. It's 9:15 in the morning, and you need a fucking priest. You need a priest.
You need the Vatican.
You need the Vatican's exorcist to get you out of bed.
Like that, you touched on all the stuff. You used to see Brown at text or whatever, and I'm like, who's she texting? Like, what? That's gone. That's gone. Like, I'm telling you, that's gone. Yeah, thank God.
Yeah.
Gone. You said to me a while ago you wanted to share with me an analogy, a story about the Simpsons. Can we cover that?
Yes. So, okay. So this is where...
Hold on. By the way, this is going to be a long conversation, and it's going to be an amazing conversation.
Yeah.
This is going to be juicy.
So there's a mate of mine from a place in Ireland called Kilchima, and it's where the word culchi comes from.
Right.
His name is Declan. He's a lovely dude. I've known him for a long, long time. So, very interestingly, I have been using a particular type of metaphor in order to transmit certain ideas to certain people at certain times. And one of the metaphors that I use and that I have used is The Simpsons, because everybody knows The Simpsons. Everybody knows the cartoon. They know the characters. So interesting. I've been using this metaphor, I don't know, a couple of years, because it's like the gift that keeps on giving, because all age ranges know it. Okay. So Declan from Kilchima sends me a message 2 weeks ago. Hadn't heard from him. I probably haven't heard from Declan in a year, 2 years, something like that. And he sent me a screenshot of a character from The Simpsons. And he says, this reminds me of you. Now, I haven't talked to him in ages. So it's really interesting that he sent that to me. He sent that kind of screenshot of an animated character. So The Simpsons has a location. Springfield is the location that they use. But also in The Simpsons, there's a bar. And there's a bar owner called Mo, and it's Mo's Bar. And there is Homer Simpson, Lisa Simpson is the daughter, Bart Simpson is the son, and then there's Maggie Simpson. So there's all of these characters in this animation. And the thing that we point to with this metaphor is Bart Simpson real? Is he a real thing? Is there a Bart Simpson? Is there a Lisa Simpson? Well, people could sit watching this cartoon and go, well, no, it's a cartoon, but they have this life on screen. They have these characters on the screen have this particular life. And we get engrossed in that life. We get engrossed in Homer and what's Homer going to do, and Homer's funny, and Marge Simpson and how she deals with Homer, and Homer's an alcoholic and he doesn't know it, and Moe, and then there's the alcoholic in Moe's bar called Barney. So there's all of this stuff. It sounds a little bit like people's everyday life, right? So there's Lisa is the intelligent one, plays the saxophone. All of this sort of stuff is going on. So there's a whole life that when you watch somebody watching The Simpsons, they're gone. Like they've put a traffic cone on their head, pointed it at the TV, and now they are convergently focused on this animation. Okay, so without the animator, there is no Bart. Without the animator, there's no Lisa, no Homer, none of that's happening. Okay, so we can get engrossed in an animated life that isn't so. It's seemingly so to the person looking at the screen. So Matt, Rachel, Brona, Tommy sit down, watch an episode of The Simpsons. We get engrossed in it. We're going through our sense perceptions, thinking, our feeling, our smell, taste, touch, all our sense perceptions of our body mind is going to be lost in this TV show. So what's being said here is this place is animated. This place, space-time, 3D space and time, is a phenomena that is being drawn in another location and is being broadcast here. So we take the Matt character to be as real can be, the same way we took Homer to be real. Lisa to be real, the same way we take Brona to be real. But they are, the Tommy character is a character on the screen. We are on a screen right now. We are as characters right now. So then you'd have to kind of say to yourself, well, is there a Matt? Well, if you investigate, is there a Bart Simpson? You're going to find, well, no, it's not there. Now, if you go with high energy physicists, and high energy part of it matters, and they go looking for Matt Burke, they're not going to find you. So just like, think about what I've just said. There's Matt Burke, taken as real can be. Okay? Here's Tommy, taken as real solid, seemingly, but not true. You go and you get Nima Arkani Hamed to get some aspect of this character called Matt and investigate it in a petri dish or on an electron microscope. Can they find Matt? No, they can't.
When you say look for him, what do you mean by the looking for him? Like, were people gonna? And I've had challenges with this inside my system. Yeah. Here I am. You can find me. You can find me. When you say can't find me, what do you mean by that part?
Yeah, so what you've done is you've swept over the whole body. Well, here I am.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not
and
a
you
body.
can look on Google, you say, oh, that's your man, Leslie from the Liberties.
Yeah, so you're not a body. We know you're not a body. We know that the animator had to animate Bart Simpson. What we're pointing to is, what's the animator here? What's the animator here? Because the animator of Bart Simpson, of Homer Simpson, of Lisa Simpson, that animator has drawn those things into being. You have been drawn
like
into
code,
being.
like the code.
Yes.
It's code.
Yeah. So you have taken yourself to be Matt, but when the high energy physicist in this particular space, time and experience go looking for you, they cannot find you. They can't find you. So, Matt Burke, man, if anybody gets a bit of this, it can go places.
Right.
It can go places where, to fathom hell and soar angelic requires a piece of psychedelic. Well, with this, you're not going to need it. You're going to be your own medicine. When you get this, you don't have to go anywhere to anyone in any time. When you understand the nature of the animator is in Bart Simpson, when you start to understand that Bart Simpson and the animator, they're inextricably connected.
Yeah,
they
gotcha.
are de facto oneness. There's not an animator on Bart Simpson. There's no animator on Bart Simpson. It's Advaita. It is non-dual. It is oneness.
Not two.
It's not two.
Not two.
Okay, so the animator, source, love, light, peace, wholeness, whatever way you want to, the all in all, whatever way you want to cut it up and serve it, is not distinct from Matt Burke. You're not Matt Burke. You're not. You've never been.
We live in a world, apparently, or we move around in this place, and a lot of the language and the way we talk, and it's very dualistic.
Yeah.
Like, black, white, right, wrong, up, down.
North, south,
south.
On, off, Polarity.
Polarity. We live in a polarity, allegedly live in a polarity.
Yeah.
How do we decipher then what is dualistic, what is non-dual?
When you start to understand or even investigate the idea that awareness is fundamental.
Yeah.
Awareness is fundamental, which means it is the slab that reality is built on. It's the foundation. Awareness, consciousness. When you kind of think, okay, if awareness is the basis of who or what I am, then I have to question everything I've taken myself to be. So when you say to yourself, I'm not Jessica, keep going. That's right, you're not. So if Bart Simpson is kind of like, hang on a fucking second, I got yellow hair, I'm a cartoon, what's going on? How the fuck am I here? When you start to question that, you start to point to the animator. When you start to point to the animator of what this is, of the screen we're on, you start to get absolute clarity around the unlimited potential of what you are. Matt Burke body is limited. It has a limited functionality, which is exactly what light and information wanted to experience through you. It wanted to experience limitation. But when you kind of wake up from the dream of Mattness and you kind of go, that personality, all that structure, none of that's really true. And then when you start to kind of go, okay, what is true? Okay, I'm the animator. Okay, now it's different. Now it starts to broaden out.
So even in that context, like your light and information, that's two things.
Well, light and information can be synonymous with the word.
Okay.
So you can have, that's, you're right. We have to be able to hold two diametrically opposed ideas with this.
Paradoxically?
Yeah, they're diametrically opposed. So I'm saying something that is in absolute opposition.
Yeah.
I know that's Matt Burke, but I know there's no Matt Burke. So I hold the two things. I have to be able to hold those two things because this place was built and animated in terms of duality. Oneness wanted to experience two-ness. What did it do? Created two-ness. It created duality in order for you to have the experience of duality. But what happens is people get so separated from the light of what they are, it gets very difficult. So this waking up process is waking up to the fact that you've never left the light. You couldn't have. It's not possible. Everything here looks like it's so. Barney, the alcoholic in Moe's bar, that's what it looks like.
So we are the animator.
We are the animator that has slowed down to the speed of light and has drawn into this particular universe. And in order for it to have the experience, it needs to forget that it's the animator and wake up as Matt. Wake up as Brona, wake up as Tommy, wake up as Rachel. Oh, I'm Tommy, fucking off we go. And that's fine if things are going well for you. Namaste, knock yourself out. It's not true.
Right.
It's never been true. And I saw this, and I was working one-to-one with somebody the other day, and she was like, so what is your experience of reality? And I said to her, like, you know, the idea that it's just energy, I have a sense feltness of the 0.5. So Matt Burke, Matt's body, 99.99999 empty space to 5 decimal places. I'm into the empty space.
The nothing.
Nothing. There's nothing there. It can't be found.
Okay. How do we experience nothing and everything all at once in this non-dualistic?
But we are in the experience of duality.
Right.
We are in the experience of duality, but we can use non-duality in order to show us that duality is not real. When you're in duality and you're experiencing non-duality, you can have some fun. Because
okay.
you'll never take yourself to be a badly drawn boy or an alcoholic in Moe's bar or fucking Moe or Lisa or a saxophone player. You'll never be duped.
So is the self, or what people call the I, is that the part we need to let go? So when people reference the self or I, they reference their personality, right?
Yeah, usually.
So we want to let that go. But when we let that go, do we let go like ambition, personal goals?
Dependent. There is a lot of people that have awakening experiences and they find that ambition is kind of taken from the system. But I have a few kind of questions around that as well, in terms of, you know, there can be non-dual Pharisees. There can be these non-dual sort of non-dual people that can be embedded in duality, and then just they become these sort of non-dual conformists, where they're wrapping a kind of a language around it in order to make themselves feel good with it. So your personality structure is the thing that needs to be questioned. Am I Bart Simpson? No. Am I Matt Burke? No. Am I Patricia? No. Am I Jessica? No. Am I Tommy? Well, am I Tommy? No. Fucking no. Now I'm free. This is not a smart, non-dual escapade of horseshit. I'm not interested in that.
Say that again.
I'm not interested in the escapade of using a non-duality language to wrap it around in a flowery way to make yourself feel better. I'm not interested in that. Non-duality is a fact. It's a fact. It's a high energy physicist fact. There is not two things. Right. There looks like there's two things.
But you can see the illusion that people are having difficulty with.
Yeah.
Like, if I was to let go of the I and the self and the personality, who feels the love? What feels the joy? What does the dancing?
Yeah. Who's seeing?
Who's
smelling, feeling, tasting, touching? Source, the light. It's never been any other way. Never been any other way. And your body becomes an emissary and a vehicle to transmit something other than what your personality structure has been transmitting, which is your history. Your personality structure holds your history, and your history is what is holding you back, holding you down, because people wake up in the morning and take their history to be so.
Like this morning.
They believe it. And what's being said here is when your history gets investigated, you're going to see that that history wasn't. How do I know? When Tommy investigates 1985 and has a memory that was a difficult memory, when it's looked at from the vantage point of Tommy, the convergently focused, then it looks like, oh, something happened to me. I'm a victim. He said that, he did this, she did that, all of this is me. And what that does is it emboldens the idea that there's something wrong with me. I have this particular history, and now off I go into the hologram to find somebody to give me relief.
Okay.
Now I look at that scene and I see the scene, and it just looks beautiful. Because it's being looked at broadly, objectively from light, not from a personality structure that feels like there was one particular thing that I used to reiterate, used to always come up with therapists and psychiatrists and psychologists, this particular memory I'd have, and I'd go over it. And now, then I got to a point where I was like, in terms of what my dad was going through energetically, chemically, molecularly in his body at that time, I felt so much like God love you. For God love you that you were going through that. Wow. Yeah, God love you.
Yeah.
God love you that you had to do that. Like God love you. And so it wasn't anymore about me. It was objective.
Did you feel that?
Just the love.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Felt that.
It changes history. Love. Pure, unadulterated love for a human being that I had seen in a particular way when I looked through Bart Simpson, when I looked through Homer Simpson, when I looked through the animation. I didn't look through love because I believed the story that the memory told me. Put that to the side, look at it objectively, and what's there? Just absolute, unadulterated love. Like God love you that you had to do that in order to feel good. It's unbelievable. That's what changes.
Like, people may not experience what just went on there. We just, love just upped up the notch there.
Yeah.
We just went up a level of frequency.
Exactly.
The love that just started to emanate from you, I felt I got a bang of that. And I was about to cry there.
Yeah.
When love moves through.
Yeah. And that's what we are. So that's what we are. We've just experienced it.
So this is an operation for us in this dualistic experience, is to remember what we are.
Yes.
It's remembering.
Yeah.
Like when I done a workshop last week and I called it and I told them as a play on words, as a concessional language, reconnect. There's no reconnection because there was never a disconnection.
Exactly.
I'm going to help us, I said, to remember that we've never been disconnected.
Exactly. Yeah. And there's a gone to the other side, having never left. That's the idea. That's the idea. And how do I remember what the fuck I am? How do I remember? Well, all you got to do is start to forget what you've taken yourself to be. That's all. That's all you have to do. You wake up in the morning, the skirmish happens, and you're like, okay, come here for a second, solar plexus, come here for a second, lower abdomen, perineum, all the minutiae that goes on in the lower parts of the body. Come here and we'll have a little chat with you. That's not so. Even if you believe you're right, solar plexus, you're not. You're not. You're igniting my immune system that's going to keep me away from the very thing that's going to work, which is wholeness. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Wow.
I'm like, I don't do it.
Right.
I don't believe it. It's never gonna beat me in that poker game again. It doesn't beat me. No matter how much, and it tries, but it tries very little.
Do we believe none of it, or what do we believe when stuff goes off? Like we're letting go, and I'm in this. My personality is dying, and we've watched this over the last 3 years. How do we help people with it? What do we believe then? Like, you know, the solar plexus, the second energy center for a lot of women, third one is
Yeah,
the men.
yeah.
What, in all of our experience, it's hard to decipher, well, I believe this, I shouldn't believe this, or
Yeah, so one of the greatest things I ever heard is that a belief is just thoughts that repetitively you keep thinking.
okay.
So a belief, think of beliefs like a blueprint that is just above and in the auric field of your body. A blueprint, an architectural blueprint is where those beliefs are. Then the light hits that blueprint, it gets in to your brain. Now it seems like your thoughts, right? Now those thoughts get kept, wash, rinse, repeat, wash, rinse, repeat. Now that's taken to be so. I don't believe any of it in terms of, especially when it's got a negative connotation. So what I do is I take things on a case by case basis as I'm dealing with things, and my body is gonna want, my body is where the personality structure is held, right? It wants to respond. It's like, okay, you want to respond that way. Where does that go? Where does that response go? How do you think that person's going to feel when you land that energy on them? It goes nowhere. So what's the most amazing Sanskrit mantra that I've ever come across with this work over 3 decades of this type of investigation? The ability to be able to say to yourself, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You're not going to trick me. Shut the fuck up. Stop. And then it stops. It's a fucking activity that people wake up as an activity with all of their problems. Your problems are seemingly so. They're not so. They're seemingly so as an activity. When you start to see the activity and you actually get to pour that beautiful mantra of shut your hole now, stop, 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 right? You get in front of it. What does it do? It deactivates the default mode network's activity. And then how do you feel? Bang on. Grand.
Bang on.
I'm just bang on.
I think I love that one, shut the fuck up, like telling yourself to shut the fuck up. But
Very
even,
challenging for a lot of people, that one. Especially with therapists. They're like, oh my God, you can't say that to yourself. Stick around.
I think you said an even nicer one, and even me saying it to myself before I say it to you, don't hurt her.
Yes.
You said that to me a couple of years ago. Don't hurt her.
No matter what.
Don't
Rule
hurt her.
number
If you're
one.
in a girlfriend-boyfriend relationship, or if you're in a same-sex relationship, doesn't matter. Don't hurt them.
Yeah.
That hits me.
That's really important.
Don't hurt them.
Rule number one. So we remember Fight Club. Rule number one is you don't talk about Fight Club. This has a rule set as well. When a man and a woman is in a relationship, a man, and I mean a male energy and a female energy, is in a relationship together, rule number one, you don't hurt the girl. That's it. You don't move off that spot. And you did, but she said this and did that. It's like a fucking motor. And I want to shut your hole. You don't hurt the girl. You don't hurt the girl. That's it. And it wants to. It wants to be. It wants to be like your dad was with your mom. That's what it's trying to do. It's trying to copy and paste 1985.
Or the other way over.
Same.
Yeah.
Now, The girl, every now and then, she's going to throw you a curveball, and you're going to fucking, you got to be wide. You got to be fucking wide. That curveball's coming. She's got stuff moving through her body. She's going to get a fast ball. You're going to come around the fucking corner of the kitchen and you're going to get a smack of that in the face. You take the smack, and what you do is you go, stop. Don't hurt the girl. Wait. That's the refractory period. And you'll get to go back and go, just wanted to name that energy earlier on to see, are you okay? Because if you respond in the way that she wants that curveball to hit off you, you're goosed. You're 3 days in a lie that there's something wrong.
And this happened to me the other day. Brown has said something to me, and I responded very, very innocently. And when I say hurt her, I just responded, and that response, I could see in her face, I hurt her, whether it's right or wrong. And she didn't get maybe 10 feet away from me, and I was up. Whoa, come back. Come back. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to hurt you.
Yeah, it's very important.
Yeah, like really, really is. And if you say you're going to live by this mantra, it ends all problems.
Big time.
Like, you know, and all she says was, I know. And I went, oh yeah, you know. And I went, don't do that.
Yeah.
I get up and I hugged her. I love you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let that guide you.
And some people might find this a little bit of a difficult thing to understand. That's called being a man. That's what that is. I am not about the business of being a 6-year-old in my autonomic nervous system and responding like a 10-year-old or a 15-year-old in my relationship. No.
That's what I did. Doing that.
Yeah.
And I caught myself.
Yeah.
The train hadn't left the train station. I was after. Let me on.
Yeah.
And now I'm lucky that Brown's like, it's cool, I love you. We're good.
Yeah.
Over.
Yeah. Over.
Over.
And you see, this is what the past generations they did not know energetically, chemically, molecularly, at a quantum level. They did not know how to do this. Their experience, their convergent focus in the 70s, 80s, 90s was all about the hormones of stress. They all thought because the Hazeldean model of psychotherapy came online in the 70s, 80s, 90s, that talking about their feelings was going to help this. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Eventually, you have to be able to say it, purge it to the surface, but then it has to discontinue. People need to learn exactly, precisely how to change how they feel. That's what never... When I'm working with somebody, they present me with thoughts and feelings and feelings and thoughts. Am I supposed to sit there and take that to be so? Why would I take it to be so? It's not true. When it's investigated, all it is a vantage point that seems as real can be, because your negativity is like a drug that you can't fucking stop snorting. Stop snorting lines of negativity off the cistern of what's not happening. Stop.
Oh, that's a beautiful one.
You have to take your thoughts, get that thought, put it out in front of you, and sit down with that thought and go, what the fuck are you actually saying?
That's what I done this morning. I sat in front of that blossom tree and them thoughts were just coming from behind. Shoom, shoom.
Yeah.
Thought I was in Bangkok again.
Yeah,
I thought I was on that highway. Phew, phew.
Yeah.
Watching them. Nobody ever taught me how to do that.
Exactly.
And I believed every one of them, and I was going to act on every one of them. Till this morning I had me popcorn, met the fifth, not literally.
Yeah.
And I was just watching the thoughts go by going, this is insanity.
Yeah, and the best one now, and this is, it's just something I do for comedy inside myself. I start with shut the fuck up, and then I go, bye cunt. When it's gone. I can see it walking out the door. The thought, it's gone. Bye cunt. See ya. Give it the finger on the way out. Good luck now. Why? Because it's not true. Why would I give credence and solidity to an activity that's not so? Why? Okay, so you have the activity, your default mode network goes off, you're thinking, feeling, thinking, oh, that's the fucking truth. No, it's not. Well, I'm fucking Jessica, I'm an accountant, and how I think and how I feel is valid, and that's the truth. Nope. Good luck, Jessica. Because now you're beholden to Jessica-ness. Now you're beholden to the history of the personality structure that isn't so. We know through encephalon, the studies that they reference in relation to memory means that 50%, just check this out, 50% of the childhood you think you had never happened. It never happened. Your memory is completely skewed. Completely skewed. You think, oh, that's my childhood. No, it's not. Zoom out, zoom out. Start to negate the character that's in that scene that's so special to you because this happened you and that happened you and the victim and da. I get all of that and I get that stuff has happened. But we know through the studies that 50% of it's not true. So you're being affected 50% of the time by a history that never fucking happened. Come on, man.
How accurate do you remember what actually happened?
Exactly.
And I'm going to be honest, I've had thought I went through some experiences as a kid, and I did go through some of these. But when I heard that, I was like, ooh, that was a hard one to swallow.
Yeah.
Like when we walked around the park and you told me this person, that person was innocent.
Yeah.
And that went down like a lead balloon.
Yeah. Back engineer it. Yeah. So I was talking with a girl, it was about 3 years ago now, and she had told me on lots of different occasions about a sexual assault, and she used all the word to do sexual assault. Okay. So listen. And then one day she said to me, well, no, it wasn't. It actually wasn't. It wasn't. I kind of, she said, I kind of set this kind of thing up, and I set this fella up, and It's like, okay, yeah. The activity had just lied. It liked the identity of I had been sexually assaulted. It was drugging up on it. It was snorting, and it had built the scene in its head like that happened, and it told me repeatedly that happened. Yeah, and then one day I was like, just wanted to say something to you. Yeah, that's not what happened. Okay, all right. Now we're going somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And then if you bring that to a therapist, psychologist, psychotherapy,
You bring the sexual assault memory because it was structured in a certain way and we were at a party and he put that in my drink, all of this and that, right? So it's structured in a certain way. The psychotherapist is just going to sit there and go, oh wow, okay, let's work on this. That's not what happened though. That's not what happened. And that's just amazing when somebody actually has the honesty to kind of reframe that which they've taken to be so. Reframe it. How? Objectively, not subjectively. Subjectively is selfishness, self-centeredness, Tommy. Yeah, that's subjective. It's me, more fucking me. Objectively is what's for the greater good. Well, me not indulging in me. That's for the greater good. It's objective, not subjective. Right. That's the difference. Yeah, so she got an objective view and went, that's not really what happened. There's a lot more to that went on. And then she could see 2 weeks, 3 weeks prior, she'd set the whole thing up.
Really?
Set herself up to be in the solid, and could see how her unconsciousness was setting that up. She got it.
That would be hard for people to take if they've gone through sexual abuse.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, and it's that was just that case.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that there's, it's not to say that these things are not happening. These physical abuses, sexual abuses, cognitive abuse, emotional, all of that stuff, that's all as real can be and is happening. But we still have to say, okay, yes, that was happening there and there and there. Now, if you're in that at the moment, that's very, very difficult.
Yeah.
That's really happening. It's really true. It's happening now. It's very, very difficult. But if you're like a lady I was working with a few years ago, if you're in a kind of $300 a night beautiful hotel in Bali with really nothing going on other than peace, I'm sorry, I'm not really going to be believing that there's something wrong. I'm not having it.
Right.
It's like, and it's amazing when you cut in front of the personality structure and go, nah, I don't know about that now. Because it's so convincing. The personality that you've inhabited as the personality, as the activity, is so utterly convincing to you. Okay, well, have at it. Keep believing it, because I can tell you exactly, predictably where it goes. Your mom had that disease, well, that's in the post for you, because she never got after it. You're not going to go after it because you believe yourself to be that structure. Okay, now you're beholden to its illnesses, its history. That's what happens. So these illnesses, they fall down the line through family structures. Oh, that's like a gene thing. No, it's not a gene thing. We know through epigenetics it's not a gene thing. And we know that your response to the environment can change. But you have to wake up from the dreamed character. Are you Bart Simpson? Easy for everybody that's watching this to go, well, fucking no. Are you Lisa Simpson? No. Are you Patricia? Are you Tommy? Are you... Well, no. No. Like we said, it can't be found.
Like you spoke about this to me before, but the whole Grand Theft Auto, that's another...
It's a brilliant example and a brilliant metaphor because it ties in with what the physicists are finding today. And Donald Hoffman, who wrote a book called The Case Against Reality, he has unequivocally shown through his research that we absolutely 100% do not see reality. We're built in such a way as a kind of a stacked survival system. So one of the things that's very helpful for people to understand in terms of the Grand Theft Auto metaphor is if Brona and Rachel and Biba and Aisha and Matt and Tommy all play Grand Theft Auto with virtual reality helmets on, slip the helmet on, okay, and I can see Matt's avatar. So Matt's over there, Brona's there, Tommy's there, okay. Or Tommy's from this vantage point, and we're looking into the landscape of Grand Theft Auto. And then I say to Matt, hey Matt, do you see the moon? And you're like, yeah. Brona, do you see the moon? Rachel, do you see the moon? It looks really beautiful in this landscape. Okay, so the thing to say to the people that are watching this, is the moon there?
It isn't that.
Seemingly.
Seemingly.
So we got to hold the two things, right? Seemingly. So when you get down to the ones and zeros or the volumetric control on the computer that's generating Grand Theft Auto, if that's switched off, it all switches off. So the moon that we're pointing to, the truth of it is that it's seemingly there, but it's not there. There's no moon there, right? There's no moon there at all. It can't be found. It's not there. Okay, take off the Grand Theft Auto headset. Now we've got a so-called real Matt, not really, a real Tommy, that's not so either, good luck. Brona, Rachel, Biba, Aisha, we're all sitting in a circle, and I'm like, wow, that's a beautiful moon. Is that moon there? Is that real? Can it be found? Nima Arkani Hamed can't find it. It's not there. I don't give a fuck if you can see it. It's not there. I don't give a fuck if you think you're Patricia. It ain't there. You're Jonathan. You ain't there either. You're off the game board. Once you actually know the moon's not there, you're full of shit. You're delusional. No, I'm not. You're delusional, bitch. You think that motherfucker's there. It's not there. Go try find it. Get up in one of Elon's rockets. Chip, chip, chip. Lovely little Makita drill. take a little bit of moon rock, bring it back, set it in front of me and go, there, fuckface, there's a piece of the moon. There you go, there's a piece of the moon. Okay, smart arse, you come with me then. You've been on the moon, you got some fucking moon rock, let's go to NEMA. Okay, let's go to NEMA. Electron microscope, nothing fucking there. Voila, bitch, it ain't so. It's seemingly so.
Because you just look.
You look.
99.9.9.9.9.9,
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah. And the 0.1 that is there, the
Matter.
0.1, Kermit. Kermit the Frog. Da, 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 da.
Right.
The fucking Muppet Show. That's what's there.
Wow.
Yes. So this isn't a spiritual fucking trope. I'm not winding people up. This is not Tommy's information. I'm not a high energy physicist. I'm not a chaos mathematician. I'm not. I'm interested in those things, right? I look at those things. I learn about those things. Okay, so what I said about the fella that brings back the moon rock and sticks it in front of me, it's true. It can't be found. Oh, so then, okay, well then my fucking foot, that can definitely be found. I got me nice kind of colourful runners on. Let's try, no.
That's a hard one
Yes.
for people to swallow.
Yeah.
And that goes in line with your personality. They're all in the same.
Yes.
Same.
Exactly.
This
So
is
when you
like-
start questioning the moon and start questioning your new kicks,
Yeah.
okay, hang on. So where's Tommy? Yeah, keep going.
Same,
Not there.
same, but
Not there.
different.
Not there. He's not there.
And all of those personality traits, you've created them out of nothing.
Yeah.
They are nothing. They're an illusion as well.
They're a story.
You up the flats, mind
whole
your
thing.
little self.
Performance.
Performance.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So-
I've realised that I was a performer. I should have been in Duffy Circus.
Yeah.
All the
Your solar
rules.
plexus was.
Yeah.
And you see, okay, so people are like, yeah, okay, fine. This place is seemingly so. It's not, it's seemingly so. Okay, so what use is that to me? I'm in a body, fine, I'm focused in a body and I'm having this. So what use is that to me? When you start to question the nature of solidity, if you start to question the nature of reality, which is a very good thing to question, when you question that, what happens is when you see that there's no moon, there's no kicks, there's no mat, when you start to see that, now you're free. The freedom which is prior to the personality is now like, oh shit, I'm actually unlimited. Yes. That's why would we bother saying it? We're only saying it so you can get the sense of you're not what you've taken yourself to be. We can show you how to have an experience of waking up from the dreamed character and kind of going, oh fuck, okay, so I'm free.
So you can wake up to being in as that character. You're not the character.
Yeah.
And then you can start to orchestrate and curate
Yes.
a better experience.
Yes.
So here's the thing, right? So when we wake up to this and we lose this sense of self or the personality, divinity starts to reveal itself.
Yes.
Is that part of the illusion as well, though?
No.
Have I created that?
No.
Because I'm like, my dad passed over, I mean, he's now part of the oneness or return back and and
Yeah.
Jesus, Yeshua comes. Is that part of the illusion, or have I created that from the personality?
So divinity is like an aspect of light, of that kind of original source. That original source has many different blueprints that it broadcasts through. When the light is wide and it's Earth and it's Matt and Tommy and Brona and Rachel all here, then when it goes back up to then there's a Yeshua, there's a Roshi, there's teachers, there's high energy sort of high frequency teachers are there, and then it goes up closer to the source as it goes closer up to the source. So that's how the blueprints work, backwards to the source. So what happens is once you see this and you start to wake up from the dreamed character, which is a Tommy, then you're still waking up in the dreamed state. It's like, okay, fuck, now this is lucid. So you can have some fun.
Right.
You don't have to be buying into the bullshit here.
Right.
You don't have to buy into it. That's the only reason the earth is seemingly so in a particular condition is because you've taken your personality to be so. Wake up from your personality, you're going to wake up from all the problems that seem to be as real can be.
Right.
Yeah. They're produced. It's production. Is Homer really drunk? No, there's no fucking Homer. It's freedom.
Freedom.
Yes.
Well, I'm experiencing freedom, and I never thought I'd say that by letting go of what I've held on to dearly.
Yes.
The map personality, the traits. And that has even been difficult for people in my environment. Even the people that we kind of roll with have found, and they've liked me. They've liked that parts of my personality, and you know,
they have to let to let
because
go
that's
of it
warm
too.
and cozy for them, because you know we want people to stay the same, because then we don't have to change to that.
Yeah. And what happens is you get invited to a lot less parties. That happens.
Things have dropped off for me.
Big
People
time.
have dropped off. Work things have dropped. You know, certain things have just. I'm like, where did that go? I'm like,
Yeah.
You said a lovely quote to me. Other people only echo what we secretly think or speak.
Yeah, especially speak. So the difficulty that you find in another person is a reverberation. It's an echo of what you've been broadcasting in relation to that person. So if you think this way about Jonathan, then what shows up is that version of Jonathan frequentially as a frequency. When you change how you feel about Jonathan, when light and information gets to adjudicate a Jonathan as light and information, Jonathan doesn't show up like that.
Right.
Doesn't show up like that. And the echo that moves through people, let's say somebody's got a bit of a difficulty with you, you take that difficulty as a responsibility inside of you. You take that material, go, okay, and you work with that material. That's the clay that you need to outshine. They're broadcasting a bad behavior. Can you take on board that particular bad behavior or anger towards you and then use it to transmogrify their energy, hold it, and then disperse it, then go back to that person and see that it's gone? That's the laboratory test of this place.
What's transmogrify?
To transmute or to change in a magical fashion. Transmogrification has to do with the magical transformation of something, because it would seem magical.
So reverting back to what you had said earlier about stimulus and stimulation, that is a piece of stimulation inside of you from that person. That echo that you get to transmogrify.
Yes.
You get to, as I've heard before, you get to transmute, transform. You get to alchemize it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same. Transmute it, alchemize it. I think it's chapter 9 in one of Michael Singer's books. It's transmuting the energies. It's living untethered, which he actually said on an interview is the book that people really need to get down with in terms of his work. That living untethered, it's chapter 9, and it's transmuting the energies, or some sort of chapter title like that. But it's that chapter, just read that. That's it. You're good after that. And so people can have a certain type of behavior. So there'll be a stimulus. You're going to have a response. Don't let that response get aired, because that's what that stimulus was looking for. Don't buy into it. Okay, you go off on your own and you transmute that, go back to the person with your heart open, so that that light can come through your heart, and then you'll see what happens.
And you will see, excuse me, you'll see the amount of prisons that you are inside of yourself when these so-called stimulus stimulate you.
Yeah.
Some of them are very, very obvious. Some of them are very, very subtle.
Yeah.
We could test this out. I can name a few different types of characters. I can name a few presidents of countries, you know,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Trumps and the Ukraines, and then we have sports people in Dublin. And you'll see people go off.
Yeah.
But they look at the stimulus creating the stimulation.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, look at the prison you've just created in yourself.
Yeah.
I says, you get to work with that.
Yeah.
Love him, love that, love this, and
Yeah.
free yourself.
Exactly.
That's hard for people to swallow.
Yeah, because they're the chemical addiction to their vantage point is so ingrained, so deeply ingrained in their body, that chemical addiction, they want a character like Biden to throw their shade toward, or Trump throw their shade toward, or Elon. They want it. They want it. They want the drug. It's not, you want the drug to indulge in what's not happening because you haven't taken the time to see if any of it's true. You want a problem. You want a problem. And you're snorting your problems off your chest of drawers first thing in the morning. And then you go out into the day and you're making out like there's something wrong. What's wrong is your body mind has become addicted like a crack addict to that personality. It just has.
And you blame Trump.
Course,
You
it's
blame the
Donald.
beggar, the butcher.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
blame all
Yeah.
those people that they are creating this inside of you.
And they're convinced.
I remember going to Arbor Hill prison, which is notorious for people that have been in prison for sexual assaults, murder, or whatever. I don't know if there's murder there, but and people would say to me, my experience would have had stuff going on as a child. How would you go there? Like, how would you deal with them people?
Yeah.
Why would you do that? And I'm like, they didn't do anything to me.
Yeah.
They've done nothing to me. You know, my body may remember some stuff, but I ain't gonna put that on them.
Yeah.
They've got their own karma. They've got stuff to do in life, and my work is to share love and be love. Remember that I am love, and why would I not go there? It was a great training exercise for this body.
Yeah, and the same thing with Arbor Hill. I had a friend. He could be still there actually, and I used to visit him the first time. So the quite a big case at the time. It was the early 2000s, and he got imprisoned for murder. And
was he there as well in the same prison?
In Arbor Hill, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I went in to visit him, and he was in there for this particular murder. That was a big case all over the kind of news at the time. So it was a huge case. It was all over the papers, and it went on for about 2 or 3 weeks. And I went in to see him, and I went in and I saw him and I waved and said hello to him, and I was kind of like, how are you getting on, and do all of this sort of crack. And he was looking at me, he's like, do you know what the fuck I'm in here for? I said, yeah. He said, I killed, I won't name the girl's name, but I killed her. I said, yeah, got that. He goes, okay. And I said, yeah, but it was kind of expected though, no? It was coming. It was like since you were 3 or 4. And it was in the post. How could he not do it? With what he had experienced. So I got that straight away. I was like, yeah. I wasn't like shocked. Like my brother rang me and said, you need to sit down. I said, no, I don't. Who is it? Oh yeah, all right, got that. Went in to see him. Because it's the Muppet Show. Of course he was going to do that with what he had experienced. Like we knew that was coming. So it was no news. So I didn't have to forgive him or do anything. All I had to do is any of the disdain and the hatred that's coming towards him for what he did, what's that going to do? Is that going to make him worse, better? And I'm not saying like I knew the girl. I'm not saying anything about that. It's like, yeah, get all that. So what can we do now? What can we do now? And that response is a responsible response. Why? Because I'm thinking about when he gets out, when he there needs to be some light, not the disdain on the character of something being, well, he did this and this. Yeah, I know all of that. I've heard all of that all of my life in loads of different avenues. But what can I do with him? How can I be with him so it doesn't exacerbate that dark chemistry in him? Well, just take a bit of time to be kind. So that's what I did. That's all.
Yeah, like I can't get away from what Jeff Thompson said to me years ago. You know, the only difference between our crimes is a degree. You know, he who has not sinned cast the first stone. And I know people that study the Bible and they go to mass, but they won't have love for that cohort or that cohort. Yeah. I'm like, that's not how love works.
Yeah.
It's unconditional.
Yeah.
It loves everything and everyone and everywhere.
Bodies love, the solar plexus in the human avatar across the board loves separation.
Love separation.
You're there, I am here. No.
There's no separation.
No, there isn't. No, there isn't.
I actually wrote down a lovely quote that you sent me a while ago. Here we go. You are not separate from others, but deeply connected. A thread in the infinite web of connectedness. This is interconnected points to a deeper intelligence beneath reality. One that transcends the limitations of space-time.
Right? So Alan Aspect,
beautiful.
Hauser and Zeilinger in 2022 won the Nobel Prize for showing unequivocally that non-locality is a fact and locality is not a fact. So there is no fucking here. I don't give a shit what you say. We're on Mead Street. No, fucking zoom out. Dublin, no, keep going. Ireland, no. Europe, no. No. None of it so. There is no here. What there is in that Nobel Prize, in those experiments, is absolute entanglement over what looks like space and time. It's not kind of oneness that looks like two-ness. No, it's oneness. There's no two-ness to it. That's never happened. It looks like two-ness, fine. It's when you're in relation to the other person, you're in relation with yourself. That's it.
Like, just even to test out this concept of non-separation, there's nothing separate.
No.
There's nothing. In this room, everything is interconnected.
Yes.
Pull out. Nothing
out.
is is disconnected on this street.
Yeah.
Zoom out again.
Yeah.
Zoom out again.
Yeah.
Zoom out
going.
again. Keep zooming out,
Yeah.
and then you go, oh fuck.
Yes.
What do I do with that?
Exactly. So you get somebody that smokes 7 to 8 milligrams of 5-methoxydimethyltryptamine, and they know that within 15 to 20 minutes. Takes them 15 to 20 minutes. Bang, they're gone. Okay, they get it. Oneness. Holy shit. Then they come back. Now it's two-ness. It feels like two-ness. But it doesn't make any difference how your body experiences two-ness. It's having that experience. It doesn't change the fact. The Nobel fucking Prize winners have told you it's not two. So therefore, it's not two.
What reminds me when you talk about the DMT is the laser experiment, the coded laser. Your man could see inside the laser.
Yeah.
I watched that. That was incredible.
Yeah.
They could see the code in the wall when they looked through it. He took some DMT and then start looking through the laser.
They do the cross lines and the red lasers. Yeah. It's like space-time, rock, tree, giraffe, mat, floor is all slowed down light in different form factors. It's beauty. It's beauty enveloping on itself. That's what it is all the time. It's just beauty enveloping on itself. And when you get a shot of the beauty of what you are, that little injection of what you are being felt by the body is called freedom. It's called peace, kindness. That's how it shows itself. Wholeness. That's how it shows itself. Because the Tommy history would dictate that I'm going to be fucking this way. I'll be an alcoholic, I'll be codependent, I'll be a sex addict, all of that sort of stuff. Why is none of that? Where is it? Where is it? Every sort of Hazeldean rooted psychotherapy says, well, predictably, this guy is going to end up this way. No, not there. So desperate sex addiction in my system, porn, this thing, that thing, that's in my system. Where is it? You could go through my MacBook Pro with a fucking team of forensic scientists. There's nothing there. How come somebody is so terribly addicted in terms of porn and sex addiction? How come that's not on my computer? How come? That's a great question for people to kind of say, like, how come? Because the personality structure was addicted. You negate the personality structure.
I sat with a lady, and this lady loves our podcast. The one we did before, she absolutely loved it. I sat with her in a park one day, and she asked me to do some work with her. It was around drink, and I said, I can't wait till the day we get to the point where you realise drink was never a problem, was never a solution. You don't have a problem with drink.
Yeah.
I said, but we'll get there in a while.
Yeah.
She came in here today and hugged me and gave me a big hug and was bouncing. Like, and she's gone through some grief. Like, she's lost some people in her life.
Yeah.
And now she feels good and she feels a lot of love in her heart.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, the work she's done and navigated through this is incredible.
Incredible.
She's like now going, I don't drink because it's just not something I want to do anymore.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
And I thought, fucking wonderful.
Exactly. I'm not like white knuckling it at me fucking laptop trying to not whack off to fucking some porn. I'm not like, fuck.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Me too.
Where's it gone?
I have no interest.
Where's it gone?
I have no interest.
Exactly. And the thing about it is they would say about that particular addiction or a particular type of substance addiction that, oh, you know, you're going to have to be really looking after that for your lifetime. No, you're not.
I've zero interest in masturbation. I've zero interest in porn, drink, drugs, telling lies.
Yeah. Yeah. And sexual interactions are filled with the light between you and that person. Do you know? It all just happens between me and my partner. That's where all that energy gets stored and expressed. Cool. That's just what I wanted to experiment with, and that's what works.
Can we then talk about what we're going to talk about? Socially accepted addictions, what I see, but I'm going to start with me first. When we sat 2 years ago and we started having work together, you called me out on a few things. How could you work with that cohort of people, men, when you act and behave like this, and when you do this, and I'm like, fuck, you're so right. Like, I really had to go in and clean up my stuff. You know, you talked about meditation. Yeah, I was teaching meditation, but I wasn't practicing it diligently. I wasn't living the life in the meditation in my life. And nothing bad, but you just called me out on it.
Yeah.
And that instructed me to go inside and start doing the cleaning up process.
Yeah.
And now I present myself in front of a cohort of people, whether it be men or women, and I feel clean. I have no proclivities and no fucking, nothing hidden.
Yeah.
I'm just telling the truth and I'm just peace.
Yeah.
We have people out there. What's your thoughts on it? You know, if you've got an addiction, how, like, and you're helping people get over addictions, like socially accepted addictions, smoking, porn, binge eating, you know, weed. I know therapists that smoke weed, and you know, and they're out there helping people with these stuff. What's your thoughts around that?
My
Because I
thought,
was one of those.
my thoughts around it is, if I get diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and then I have an appointment to have a consultation with an expert in type 2 diabetes that I want to get some help with, and fucking like 100 kilo morbidly obese man walks in who has type 2 diabetes, I'm not taking his advice. I'm not. Why? Because you're a type 2 diabetic, you fucking muppet. You can't help me with this thing. You got the thing. You got the thing.
Okay.
Now, you see, type 2 diabetes, glucose, insulin resistance. Okay, I can see that he's morbidly obese and I can kind of go, hang on, fucker. I'm not playing this shell game with you. You need help. You need a lot of help. So good luck. Okay, now you get a drug addiction therapist that's hiding a cannabis addiction. And now I need help with a drug addiction, and you come in and you're hiding a cannabis addiction, but I can't see it. It's not like the morbid obesity. What I think is that anybody that's out there working with people that is acting out with weed, acting out with porn, man. If you're a therapist, a male therapist, and you're working with other men, and those men are trying to get relief in their life, and you're indulging in porn once or twice or 3 times a week, you need to stop working with people. Stop working with people, because you're not fit for that service. Why? Because you're a fucking porn addict. Oh yeah, but that's okay. No, it's not okay. It's not okay. Do the research on the website Pornhub and you'll see what that was associated with. So if you go there, which a lot of people do, and you're working with people, you're not qualified to work with other human beings. Stop. Fucking stop. You can't do it. It is the most, it's just, you're on, when somebody comes to you looking for assistance, it's sacred ground. Like it is fucking sacred ground.
Yeah.
And if you have a problem with food, if you have a problem with bulimia, if you have a problem with anorexia, smoking, cigarettes, if you have that all active in your system, it needs to be deactivated, because you're not gonna. And people say, oh yeah, but you know, when I enter into the session space with the person, it's a different. Fuck you. No. You've a food addiction, you're smoking cigarettes, and you're on Pornhub 3 times a week. I don't need your help. You need fucking help. So good luck to you. So that has to be, people have to be okay with kind of saying this, and be very clear with the therapist that you pick, or that this, where's their proclivity? You gotta be.
I was working in a hospital, working with patients, and I had proclivities.
Yeah.
I had a drink, I'd done some porn, watch porn the odd time.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
My system wasn't clean.
Yeah.
My thoughts weren't pure. I wasn't being honest. I was telling lies.
Yeah.
And I remember Jeff called me out on it when Jeff Thompson, he's my mentor and friend. He's like, if you're working with people, if you want clean water, you have to have clean pipes. That means letting all of those things go. How can I help you to swim if I don't have arms or legs and I don't know how to swim?
You can't.
You can read all the books on swimming, but you got to get in there and you got to do that work.
And I would say to you, 70 to 80% of the people that are working with other people have these idiosyncratic energies moving through them, and they need to question how helpful can they actually be when they are mired in the addiction themselves. And all addictions will eventually be circumvented back to the personality structure that believed it needed the food, the porn, the cigarettes in order to deal with its situation. that the original addiction, the original sin, if you want to call it, is the belief in the personality. That's the original sin. So it will go back there. But people need to be, only recently, I was working with somebody who had been in South America, and they had been kind of working with various different medicines and stuff like that. And I can hear it. I can hear it. These ayahuasqueros and curanderos, if they are investigated for even a short period of time, they won't know what I'm talking about in terms of what needs to be understood chemically in the body. There is no fucking healers. There isn't. There's no one out there gonna do this for you. There isn't. You're lying to yourself. Oh, well, I went here and did it. I don't care. I went to all of them as well. None of it worked. I was crazier than I was when I started it.
I remember you told me you'd done 108 ayahuasca journeys.
Yeah.
I spoke to a lady years ago when I was thinking of doing it, and she said to me I'd done 40.
Yeah.
And I nearly fell off my seat. And I was
Yeah.
like, so I'm thinking, do I have to do 40?
Yeah.
Like, does it? I hear that it just works like when you do it. No, and I went, but 40, not 4,
Yeah.
14, 24.
Four is enough.
Like,
Fucking four will do
like
you.
when is it going to work?
Exactly. Yeah. When is it going to do the thing that was kind of promised on the pamphlet?
Like, it gets you off if you have a heroin addiction, it's changed people's lives and all this, but you're still doing the same things 40 times later, you 108
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
And this is the thing that
And
just,
it's not the fault of the medicine, by the way. The medicine is independent. The medicine is beautiful. The medicine is an unbelievable spiritual vehicle, let's say, if you want to put it that way. However, the personality structure that believes the moon is real and believes it's Bart Simpson and believes it needs help is going to go out there as the false reference looking for help, and it can't work because this hasn't been seen. That's why on and on it goes, and where she stops nobody knows. And psilocybin can do this and this and this and this and this. Makes no difference when you're starting off from the false reference. The medicine, the only medicine that's going to work for you over time is what you experienced this morning. That's it. Over time, that's what works.
and you do that repeatedly, over and over again. You become accountable. And I love the analogy that you use when you done that talk at the Positive Life with Paul. The canister, the petrol that you have been creating fires, you're burning buildings, running off, getting in the fire engine and coming back and start putting it out. And that's what I was doing this morning. I lit a fire and blamed.
So, and it's good to know that the autonomic nervous system, the body mind, ignites the fire, and then fucking, it's like whistling. It's like, well, hang on a fucking second, pal. That wasn't you striking the matches then? That was you striking the match. And you see, this work, what we're pointing to, what I do with people one-to-one, what I do with people in groups, is we point to the, hang on a second, let's look at the fucking security footage. That's you in the warehouse. Is that you in the warehouse? That's you in the warehouse, right? You're in the, you left your house, you got to the warehouse, that's you with the red fucking can of petrol. That's you? Okay, that's you. Fine. Now, you can see yourself pouring it around the edges of the building, right? Okay. Now, what you pulled out of your pocket? I don't know what I pulled. That's called a box of matches. You pulled out the box of matches, you struck it, and you lit the warehouse up. Okay, we have the footage. Did you light the warehouse on fire? Yes, I did. Okay, fine. Then what you did is you went fucking home, forgot you were the cunt that lit the warehouse on fire. You started the problem. You started the fire with your girlfriend, with your ma, with your dad, with your fucking obese therapist, whatever the fuck. So you started the fire, right? We have the security footage. You went home, forgot you started the fire, Put on a fucking fireman's helmet. Now you're the cunt that's going to put it out. Okay, so you get on the fire truck, right? You go back to the warehouse. What do you pull off the truck? Some water? No, flamethrower. You fucking gobshite. You're going in circles. You're creating this problem, centrifuging the problem, and wondering, why am I having the same relationship 10 years later with somebody different? Look at the security footage in the warehouse. You're unconscious. You're unconscious. You need to wake up from the dream and see that you've been playing all the roles.
Take that piece of information what Tommy just shared with you and stencil it over something in your life. I'll go me, relationships. I blame that girl. No, she's not her. It's not right with her. I'll grab another one. I'll grab another one. And went around just hurting people, breaking people's hearts, lying and cheating and doing all these things. And I kept blaming them for starting the fire. And I was the creator of all of that. We're not just throwing this information out there. I have lived through this fire starter.
Yeah.
I nearly done it this morning.
Yeah.
I've nearly done it with me mad today. I do it. And this is put the canister down.
Yeah.
Take
put the
responsibility.
Down.
You're starting the Californian gorges, like you're starting the fires.
When you're about to go to the local Circle K and fill up the red canister of your rage, of your frustration, of what you think is happening, fucking go back home, you sit on your couch. What do? Meditate for 15, 20 minutes. You do a morning meditation. Why? Because that's the scaffolding we use to get you to shut the fuck up. Why do we need you to shut the fuck up? Because you've been burning down warehouses and blaming everybody else on it. So you sit on your couch, you put on an eye mask. Why? Because we want to take the sense perceptions of the body mind away from you. Why? Because when you open your eyes, off to the fucking warehouse you go. So sit on your couch, put on your eye mask, you sit there, and then you're going to put on a Dr. Joe Dispenza meditation, listen to that meditation, and all hell is going to break loose. Why? Because you're addicted to burning down warehouses. You're the asshole on the security footage, right? You stay on the couch and you get 20 minutes, and then for 5 minutes out of it, there's peace. Oh, okay. Where'd that come from? Well, that comes from no one, nowhere, no space, no time, non-locality, and oneness. That's where it comes from. Fine. Next day, well, I don't have to meditate the next day, do I? Yeah, you do. Why? Because you're an asshole that's been burning down warehouses all your life. You've been causing trouble. So half an hour. Sit on the couch, eye mask. Okay. You're getting 12 minutes, 13, 15 minutes of peace. Okay. Now the desire to burn down the warehouse is lessened. Okay. Cool. You're not an arsonist anymore. You're still an asshole, but you're not an arsonist. Okay, fine. You've stopped setting fires out there. We build it up, build it up, build it up. The molecular structure in your cerebrospinal fluid changes in your spine, in your sushumna. You start to feel peace 10% of your day, 20% of your day. Then it's 50, then it's 60. Through the meditative process clues you in to why are you doing it? You're doing it because you're an arsonist. That's why you're doing it. And then you calm down, calm down, calm down. Beautiful. Now you're actually operating as the solution that the hologram requires. Now you're operating as love. Why? Because you're not an arsonist. And by the way, you never were.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's an activity.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the life that I live now.
Yeah. And you've done it in jig time. Took you 2 years to kind of go, okay, I get it.
Like, it doesn't mean that I'm spiritually bypassing stuff that comes up. We seen it this morning. I open me peepers. If we press pause on the film, we'd say that's where he went and got the petrol.
Yeah. There's the security
he opened
footage.
his eyes.
Yeah.
I thought violence.
Yeah.
And then I went, I'll blame her.
Yeah,
I'll throw some petrol.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can do that in any part of your life, but this requires you to be honest. It requires you to be integral.
Yeah.
And, do you really want the peace that you're proclaiming to say you want?
Exactly. Yeah. You want peace as the warehouse is burning down. No. Peace comes from you not going to the warehouse. That's different. People want it. They're like, they don't want the security footage seen. They don't want, they're like, oh Jesus, I can't be telling you that part of myself. Yeah, don't worry, it ain't you. It's seemingly you. It's a personality structure that's an activity that was never so.
And all of that stuff that you haven't noticed about yourself, when you put the eye mask on, or even when Tommy says, or I say to you, you have to meditate, the war will go off. And
Oh,
you've
it's
never
gonna, yeah.
once questioned the sensors in your body because they're maladaptive. It's like going into a building and the doors are open and the windows just fly open, the alarm system's going off. It's inappropriate. You've never questioned that system of
Yeah.
yours. When you put the eye mask on and when you time to sit down, fuck, this system is just doing whatever it wants. It's going off.
Yeah.
Alarms and
Ungoverned.
ungoverned smoke alarms going off
Yeah.
inside you, and you believe it. And you act out on it all day, every
Every
day.
day.
You've never questioned the
Exactly.
maladaptive wiring system in your house, in
Yeah.
yourself, like your house, like
Yeah.
a building.
Yeah, exactly. So people want autonomy and peace, and we know how to find it. We know where it is. We know exactly where it is. And it's in a place where most people, they just, mostly, they don't want to look. They don't want to see the security footage. They don't want to see that they're they're a fire starter. They don't want to see that.
Well, you showed it to me twice when we met. Once in the park when we walked around, and then the second time we sat down, you went, here, have a look at this. Look at your system. Look what it does. You teach meditation. You do this, and you act like this, behave like this, speak like this. That's not congruent. They
Yeah.
don't marry up.
Yeah.
You're talking shy.
It's a person will meet you with the wired trauma response. They'll just meet you with and they'll never question the trauma response. They move from the trauma response. They move from it. It's like, no, sit still, let the trauma response show itself and move through you, and then we'll see, okay, get that volume control and get it from 11 or 12 down to 3. See how your day goes. It's a volume control on the chemistry in your body. The cortisols, the adrenalines, the noradrenalines, we can turn them down. But you don't have to go outside of yourself to turn them down. You have to go inside yourself to turn them down, not outside. That won't work.
Yeah. And speaking about them, constantly talking about them, putting them out there, telling people about your problems, talking about your past. Like, I spent a lot of time doing that. This happened. Let me tell you about it. I'm going to inspire you with this. But what I'm really doing is I'm thinking and feeling and thinking about my past.
Yeah.
And I see that on social media and therapists out there and famous people that write books about it.
Yeah.
And they're peddling it.
Yeah.
And people love it. You know, they go, oh, he does this, he talks about trauma, and we have to bring it up and we got to speak about it. But for how long?
Exactly.
How long?
Why does the highest sort of most notable so-called trauma experts in the world, why don't they speak about joy?
I asked that question as well.
Why don't they speak about kindness, wholeness, peace? Why is it every second sentence is trauma? Like, fuck off, man. I want relief from the trauma, and I do not get relief from the trauma when I'm banging on about trauma. I get relief from the trauma when I'm feltness, joy moving through my system. Okay, now I feel good. So how can we kind of leverage the good feelings, the good chemistry in the body? How can I do that? And we know how to do that, so that you're not living like the so-called experts have a gain in you believing the moon is so, and that you're an arsonist that's going to continuously need help.
They've skin in the game, as
Big
they
time.
say.
A good friend of mine, a good, lovely dude, was told by a very well-known outfit in Ireland, you're going to have to come see us and work with us for the rest of your life. You're never going to get over that trauma. They said, and I was in a cafe on South Circular Road with them, and I was like, it looks like you believe them. Did you believe them when they said that? He goes, yeah, because it's true. I said, no, it isn't. No, it isn't true. No, it isn't true. Well, what do you mean? Well, like, you've sent me videos and you've sent me text messages from when you've microdosed, and you seemed like you were really good when you were in that microdose space. Why was that? What was it about the microdose space that, well, what was it about the microdose space? Did it change the chemistry in your body? Did it change the default mode network in your brain? Did it switch off your amygdala hijack aspect? Okay, so you took the microdose and you felt better. Okay, could we get you to microdose without a substance? That would be called meditation. Oh yeah, I don't like Dr. Joe. I don't like his voice. Okay, well, good luck paying those guys for the rest of your life. Okay, good luck. I couldn't believe it. I don't like his voice. He sounds aggressive. Does he? Does he? You can buy a meditation on his website for $25, work with it for 6 weeks, and you'll be different on the 7th week.
For sure.
Keep going. You can do,
Like even the process of putting the eye mask on, sitting yourself down, telling yourself to sit down when your body wants to kick off. You've now become autonomous with this system, and you've now noticed, as the meditation, the description says, know thyself, become familiar with thyself. You can't sit down, put an eye mask on. I know a lady, and she does some therapy, and she says she can't meditate. She's a therapist, and she says, I can't meditate.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
Huge red flag.
Wow, I'm like, that's fascinating.
Huge red flag.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
That you can't have peace in your system.
What happens to her when she sits and she goes to quieten? What happened? What she met with? Yeah, I know what she's met with. The arsonist. That's what she's met with. She's met with the addictions, the personality, She's met with everything that's hijacked her since she was 5. And now, hang on, let me go work with that person. No, don't do that. Get to your stuff, start to clean your stuff off, and then maybe you'll be okay to be in a space with somebody where you can actually show them something, teach them something informationally, energetically, so that they can change. You will not be an advocate of change if you know nothing about it.
Exactly.
You won't be.
I remember sitting with Professor Timothy Lynch from the Neurological Institution, and we were talking about how you think influence how you feel. And this is what we're talking about, the think and feeling loop, and how your biochemistry changed it. And he done an experiment with me, or showed me, if you visualize or see yourself in your kitchen, you cut a lemon, you squeeze it, and you put it to your mouth, your body will respond to that visualization, that image. Okay, you swap that out for that childhood, that stuff you used to take, that life you used to live. Your body responds to it, and you're telling them all day, every day, you are unconsciously changing your biochemistry, but you think you're doing a good thing. You think of that thing that happened to you in 1979.
Yeah.
You're responding to that.
Yeah.
So when do we start to wake up to that and say, don't do that?
Yeah.
Like, just for your body's sake, just for your body's sake.
Yeah.
Where's the oxytocin? Where's the dopamine? Where's the serotonin?
Yeah.
Think and feeling. Just do that for yourself. See what happens.
Yeah. And it's very important that people don't use what's being said in order to avoid the telling of a particular story. Tell the story, but you're telling the story in 2025 in order for the story to not copy and paste itself on your 2035. We want 2025 to be a purgative. Let the stuff up, no problem. We can investigate it, check it out, see how you've been taken on a ride this way, that way, the other way, and then we can start to pull back from that and go, okay, we've spoken about 1979, 1985, that's fine. Now, how do we get in front of it and change how we think and feel around it so we're more objective, so that that history actually gets left to the annals of history and it doesn't get to move into your future? That's how you do it.
And what we're trying to do is, I love that you said that, it's helping to get over the emotions of the past. So wisdom is a memory without the emotional charge.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. So wisdom being, you can see the whole history. You can see the story, how you would have been within it. And now you get to kind of say, okay, I need to make sure that that energy on a Monday doesn't go into Tuesday. Why? Because Tuesday is where I'm going to start thinking about buying petrol. So let's think about that. But you see, the thing about all of this stuff is people have to be into it. Are you into self-inquiry? Are you into checking yourself out? Are you into change? Are you into understanding what it means for you to transform? Or are you just speaking words in the direction of those ideas but not actually doing it? I'm into the mechanism of doing it. Like I'm probably clipping 85, 95% peace for peace sakes. Do you know?
I'm clipping a lot higher than I was 2 years ago. I haven't put a percentage on it, but it's a lot of the time in comparison.
Yeah. And when something comes along, you actually know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
It's not your history dealing with the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different.
It's different. Like I'm humming and singing along
Yeah.
in life
Yeah.
a lot more.
Yeah. Going along with life on life's terms as opposed to what I need it to be. You get to be this path inward builds a type of resilience that I never knew. My autonomic nervous system was the quickest gunslinger in the West. It had pulled the fucking gun, the trigger, the bullet, the whole thing before I even knew what was happening. So a situation would to be a stimulus in the field, then a response, boom, the gun's out. And you're gone for the day. It's just not like that now. Now it gets the gun quarter out of the holster and I'm like, hey, fucker, put that back in. We're not doing that. Why? Because it doesn't fucking work. Your frustration and pulling that gun out, that's going to cause a problem. We're not doing that today. Put the gun back in, then I wait. Now I'll answer that email from a different place.
Yeah.
That's how I do it. That's how I do it. Because I don't want Tommy's response.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in it. It never worked. It didn't get me anywhere. It didn't get me anywhere.
And it like it's go back to what we said at the start, and you listen to this and stuff will go off in you, you know, and you might find it difficult to hear. Go off and try this out for yourself. Like myself and Tommy are not talking from an intellectual point of view.
No, it's lived.
This is lived over the last 2 years. You know, my dad passed over. My daughter found herself homeless. Her mom went through some stuff. I'd faced adversity. You know, I'd faced challenges. But I decided to do it different.
Yeah.
I said I'd do it different. Like my dad's passing, the way I went through that, I didn't do what the normal people, the norm was said to do. I followed the different trajectory.
Yeah.
And it's been peaceful. It's been loving.
Imagine.
The fruits of my labour, I live in a more peaceful life and in a peaceful environment.
Yeah.
And you can only know the fruits from your labour when you...
Yeah, exactly. When you feel it. You'll only know the tree by its fruit.
The tree by its fruit.
And then you'll see what was always so. You'll see that the peace is prior to any gunslinger showing up. The peace, the kindness, the light, the information is behind. It's foundational. It's before the arsonist ever gets to move. And when the arsonist gets called into question, the peace is just there. You don't have to be an arsonist and go looking for peace. That won't work. Negate the arsonist, get rid of that personality structure because it's not so, it's an activity. And what will show is the peace of what you are.
That's a huge piece. Just dial down, just pick one part of your life and dial down that activity, that thing you do and say, and it's programmatic.
Yeah.
Dial it down.
Yeah.
And from that, just that piece, you'll get some peace.
100%.
Do it in other neurological patterns, because they're all neurological patterns and programs.
Yeah.
Do it in that one, and then all of a sudden you've experienced peace for no reason. Yeah, because you're creating your own fucking madness.
Yeah. So cortisol and melatonin are not they're inextricably connected. What does that mean? Cortisol goes up, melatonin goes down. Oh, I can't sleep. I can't sleep. Yeah, you can sleep. You can sleep. There's nothing fucking wrong with your sleep. Oh, I can't sleep. No, you can sleep. What you're doing is you're allowing the cortisol, the thinking, feeling, thinking from your solar plexus to do rapid fire at 10, 11, 12, and now you're goosed. Your cortisol went up. By thought alone, your melatonin went down. Okay, what happens when your cortisol levels go down? You're not trying to raise melatonin levels. No, it just happens naturally. It goes like that. You're not trying to raise melatonin. You're trying to turn off cortisol. That's different. So you might go to the pharmacist in Northern Ireland and say, I need melatonin. That's not what you need. You need to turn off cortisol. It's negation. It's negation. If people understand that thought leads to that feeling, start to turn the volume control down on that inside yourself. What shows up is more light, because that is dark chemistry. It's lower energy center chemistry. When we turn that down, that goes up. You don't have to go try and walk out into the hologram and find the way, the truth, and the light. The way and the truth and the light is prior to your problems. It's prior, it's behind it. You keep on moving out from a problem as a problem, believing in a problem. You set the warehouse on fire and go, there's a fucking problem. No, you did that, right? It's prior, okay? So spot that part of you that wants to cause that trouble, turn it down. If you want, if you don't turn it down, you'll be beholden to the consequences of what you're doing. So do what you like.
Knock yourself out.
Knock yourself out. You keep going. You've obviously got it fucking sussed. You're in prison. Well done. You've got it sussed then. Okay, you don't need my help. Or you're fucking a porn addict. Okay, well done. You've got it all sussed. You gotta be into this.
You gotta be.
You gotta be
You
into
gotta
it.
be. You
And
either
if you're
want
not,
or you
you're
don't.
not.
You're not. You don't. You don't. That's cool.
No, makes no difference.
It's not for everyone.
No. It's like peace is for everybody, but most people they're not willing to dial down what they're so in love with, which is their bullshit. They're in love with the chemistry of the dark chemistry is very addictive, man. It's very, very addictive. And it envelopes on itself, and people just have more and more and more of that chemical addiction to frustration, or lack is a huge one, guilt is a huge one. The amount of people that autonomically feel guilt for absolutely no reason other than it's just habitual inside their body, it's terrible. It's terrible. And if your body is addicted to guilt, right, and then you go and you sit down and you're you're dishing out tarot cards or whatever you're doing with somebody, and you're feeling that guilt is frequential. It's a fucking broadband signal from your lower abdomen. It's literally broadcasting from your lower abdomen. It's measurable by a squid's device. We know it's quantumly measurable. So you're sitting there making out like you're all cool by the pool. You're not. You're fucking not.
I know that
You're
soldier.
in
I was that
scarcity.
soldier.
You're broadcasting this fucking signal. You're broadcasting this signal and thinking no one knows. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. Because we're broadcasting it to each other. We're pinging each other all day, every day. So find out who is housing, and I'm just straight away, my body just thinks of Philip. There's a fella that we know called Philip Newell, and he runs a little circle in Dundalk, and he's just go sit there, you know, go. Just peace.
He's a beautiful man.
Yeah, he thinks I helped him. You know, there's a frequency that broadcasts from certain people, and it's just a frequency to sit in, and it's very clear
And clean.
and it's clean water. And when your body gets addicted to that clean water, you will not go back to business as usual.
No.
You're not going back to business as usual.
I know that story. Your body won't house that anymore.
And there's just listen when you're when you want to go and you want to start unpacking this stuff with somebody. Listen to what's broadcasting off them. Just listen to what's there. And then you'll know if they can work with you. You'll know. Yeah. But where we get to is we get to this 0 point where the peace is just, it's obvious. His frequency, Philip's frequency, is the frequency, it's a sadhu type frequency. It's like the frequency of a holy man. That's just what it is. And I know that when the personality structure starts to peel away, that's what's, people have no idea. When you do peel away these structures, what you're left with is very special. What you are is so special. What you are is, like, look at Tara Lee. Look at what's coming through her into the world, through her system, as a result of, you know, this type of investigation.
Beautiful.
Man, come on, man. Like, you're not what you've taken yourself to be. Start stripping it away. Start stripping out that old historical furniture, and you'll see what you're made of. You won't have to work at what you're made of. You're already made.
Perfect.
It's already there. And the amount of people we know that have turned this direction and have done this work and have investigated at this level, and now their lives are just, they're 360 degrees different.
Yeah.
They're completely different.
Completely different. And I said at the start, my life is 360 degrees different.
Different.
Might look the same for other
Yeah.
people, it's not.
And I'm even Rachel, I'm like, what's she even doing today? She was working on a TV show yesterday, doing American voiceover for a TV show. Then she's doing astrological work. Then she's writing for the Irish Independent. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck, man? You're working on a TV show. You're working on writing for the Independent. You're doing astrological work with people. You're now a teacher in the astrological university you learned in, and you're working for Powerhouse. What the fuck else are you doing? Like, this is just her day now.
It's incredible.
No. And like in 2015, she was a yoga teacher going to teach yoga classes on Camden Street. That's what she was doing. She had no interest in these matters. She had no interest in these matters. She was bumping into fucking lampposts. She was just fucking whatever. Do you know what I mean? Just an American. Fuck, man. the life she lives, the kindness that moves through her, and what she does with people in the world. It's just extraordinary.
Extraordinary.
It's extraordinary. She's just harmless, do you know?
Innocent.
That's who, innocent, and just even getting to be in her company and getting to love her and getting to hang out with her and getting to make her coffee or make her dinner and stuff like that. It's just, it's endless, man. It's endless. Just to, when she got some good news, and she gets the good news and tries to hold it in her body for a little while, but I'm catching a ride on it like 2 hours before she says it. I'm like, fucking, I'm getting goosed. When she is enjoying her life and she's excited, my whole body starts to rattle with the same frequential excitement. It's resonance. It's not two, it's one.
Wow. Fuck. Feel that.
To be able to have someone else's excitement move through me, like the tuning fork of excitement goes off in her at 2 o'clock and it's vibrating through me at 4 o'clock. It's not two.
It's one.
It's one.
That's the oneness.
That's the oneness.
Non-duality.
As a lived experience in my body.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's just stunning. The light is stunning. It's just
That's what's available. That's what's accessible to people.
it's there. It's right there, right from where you're sat, with no sort of, you don't have to achieve this. It's not achievable. You're already it. We just have to peel away the layers of the onion that you've taken to be so.
Like the golden Buddha.
Exactly.
Tip away the mud and it'll just be there.
Exactly. And people will go through, which I find really enjoyable, but people go through a process of really, really hating me, disliking me, distancing themselves from me. It doesn't make any difference. I don't care. I don't care. It's not gonna move me from the spot. I can't be moved from the spot that I couldn't move from anyway. It's just on.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Let me just check my camera. Are still rolling, we know? We are still fucking good. That is incredible.
Yeah.
The love that moves through you. The love that moves through you and Rachel. Like,
Yeah.
again, I only work with people now that I see that are integral, authentic.
Yeah.
Me and you work together. You help me. You like my Sherpa, Jeff Thompson.
Yeah.
And the relationship that you have with Rachel, the way you behave, the way you speak, the way you act, and I know you just don't just say that. I watch you diligently. It's incredible. It's integral. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
You have inspired me. As a man, I'm gonna do that. Because I've done some stuff in the past that wasn't honourable.
Yeah.
So don't hurt her. Fucking treat her like the goddess or god or wonderment that she is. And I thank you for doing that. Like, I have a beautiful relationship with Brona, and it's thanks to you, and it's thanks to Jeff Thompson, and it's thanks to me dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so I appreciate you doing that for me.
Human beings being sculpted by light rather than sculpted by a lie. That's what I'm interested in. And when you're sculpted by light, the reason that there's pauses in what we're saying and there's rushes of love moving through us right now, the reason that that's happening is our bodies are still getting used to being able to hold that charge of love. It's a lot of love. It's a lot of light. When your body's been used to something that was antithetical to the light, dark chemistry is way easier to carry than the extent of love. That's what a lot of people don't know, is that the love they have for each other is so huge, it can be hard to hold it. It can be hard to hold it. Do you know, like sometimes in the superhero satsang, in the live event or on Zoom, but in the live event, when it starts to ramp, I mean, it looks like we're going through an exorcism. Everything's rattling with the energy kind of moving through
I
the
had
room.
somebody sitting beside me, a woman I know, and she's like, "Why? What's going on for you? What you doing?" Because I cried right the way through that.
Right. The last live satsang in the room.
Like it went off, and it was just love.
Yeah.
I couldn't contain it.
It's a beautiful chemistry to have moving through your body.
So you may have started listening to this podcast at, the start, and it may have jerked your system, but look where we've come to. This is the fruits of your labor. This is the this is the mecca, the love that moves through me, that was always there, but I was just hiding it with the bullshit and my personality, and I get to feel this so much more.
The church of all churches is the love of what you are moving through this place. That's the church of all churches. You don't have to go anywhere with anyone at any time. It will move through you when you learn how to negate that which isn't so. That's all you got to do. It takes a little bit of time to do it. You could have 4 decades living a lie, 2 years. Once you get this painting by numbers, 2 years, you're goosed. You're good. That's it. 2 years. With 4 decades of insanity ramping on itself, 2 years, 3 years, you're good. It's maintenance. It's just maintenance at that point.
I remember standing with you in the park, and my third energy center was like a bowling ball, as you described, was bouncing out of my system.
Yeah.
I cannot feel that these days.
That's amazing.
Like I used to be purging in bed beside Brown, be shaking, there'd be things moving through me. That doesn't go off these days.
Brilliant.
It's other stuff comes up, but that's coming up to be clean, to be cleansed. This is not spiritual bypass. This is not like you don't have to still do work, and this is retraining.
Yeah.
By negating all the bullshit that doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
Because if I was doing it, and you've said to me many times, when I say, I'm giving this up and I'm just going, well, then go back to the not working part, because that wasn't working either. You weren't happy then, and you're not happy now. So.
Yeah, you had said a couple of times, this doesn't work, and all right, good luck.
Then go back to the way you were living, because that didn't
Let's see how that goes. Yeah.
And that's what this requires, and you just have to stick it out. But like what you said many times here, you have to either want it or don't want it.
You can knock yourself out if you're happy in the hell realms that are available here.
The hell realms.
Fucking hell realms.
Yeah.
Good luck with the petrol. Good luck with the fucking warehouse.
I did an Airbnb there.
Yeah.
In hell realms.
In the hell realms.
There's a go down, stay there a lot.
Yeah. And have at it. You do you. And if you think that when you get to the end of your life and you pop out of your body, that it's going to be okay, I'd have a little think about that. No, have a little think about that. We've seen some things.
NDEs, they all come back saying the same thing.
You think when you pop out of your body, you're going to be some sort of super spiritual being? Nay. No. You need to have a little look at some things here.
Yeah.
And then you need to leave suitcases of what's not happening to die in the dust of this place, so that when you skip out, you kind of go, oh, cool, did a good one there, no problem. You want to leave lighter. You came in with something. You need to think about leaving lighter. We know how that works. Yeah, and it's as true can be. If anybody that's listening to this believes in death and believes that when you die, that's the end of it, good luck, buttercup. That is not so. That is seemingly so within the... How could you die and it all end when we know that this is not so? What are you dying from? How good it's...
Oh, Oh, that's a fucking juicy one.
How could you? You couldn't. You're an apparition in space and time that's showing up as a body mind, shows up as a personality, and you think, oh, when the curtain comes down, that's it. No, it's not, SA. No, no, no. No, no.
No way, hombre.
No, that's not the way this place is.
No death, there's no birth.
No,
Yeah.
it's never happened.
And you had said that to me 2 years ago. I went, oh, that's bollocks, because I was addicted to the three-dimensional world.
Yeah.
Now I'm slowly navigating, and I get it now, not just from an intellectual point. I seen it with me dad. I seen his physical body, and I was like, that's not my dad. He's gone.
Yeah.
Like when he left, he just popped out of it.
Yeah.
And
I remember I walked into a wake with a friend of mine whose mom has passed away, and the body's laid out in the casket, and I just looked at him and I said, no electricity. The electricity's gone. That was
That's what I saw.
That was it. They just no electricity. Where's it gone? Somewhere else. Somewhere else.
Energy cannot be created nor destroyed.
Exactly.
It can only be transformed.
Exactly. Transmogrified. Yeah.
Love that
to
word.
magically transmute a thing. Yeah.
Wow. Come here. I asked Evan at the end of the podcast, what's the one thing you'd love people to take away from this? This has been an incredible interview. This
amazing.
Is amazing. Like, even my experience, I have fucking loved this.
So have I.
I wasn't present the last one, even though I think I did a good job. But right now, I have fucking loved this.
Yeah, we've been really ingrained
in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there anything that you'd like people to leave after listening to this? What would you say?
If your personality structure that is not so can create a particular type of experience that you don't want, when that gets negated, you can actually start to move your energy to a future you do want, and you can actually have the future that you know you can have. We know how it works. It's not difficult. It's painting by numbers. Don't give up on the light of what you are. Don't give up on that. Find the light within your system. Find the light within your system. Yeah.
Beautiful. Like, I know this might be out there for some people, and I would have presented as somebody, a doubting Thomas, didn't believe all this, but I wanted peace like there was no tomorrow. I wanted love, there was no tomorrow, and it was in me, and I went after, and I'm living that life. All the proclivities are gone. I don't have any of those. I'm living an honest, integral, moral, beautiful, gentle, peaceful life.
Yeah.
Life is good.
Gentle.
Nice. Gentle life. Yeah.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
That's a nice way to be spending time, in gentleness.
Gentleness. And I would have pushed back against you. I would have like, fuck this and fuck that. And that's just the system.
Yeah, that's all. That's all. And people do that with me in the work that I do with people. They do that with me all day, every day.
And what I love about it, and you've said it, this is not about me. This is not the Tommy show. I'm not doing that for you. You're going to do it all yourself.
Yeah.
I'm just going to point and I'm going to shit clean with you. And
that's it. Domestos, little bit of bleach, little bit of a sponge. You're full of shit. Let's go to work. Now you'll see the light of what you are.
Yeah.
That's it.
If people want to work with you, where will they find you? What can they do? What's the option for them to work with you or do so look at your work?
You can go to velvetvoice.ie, velvetvoice.ie. Go to that website. You can do one-to-one sessions with me online or in person, or you can check out on the same website the Superhero Satsang event. The next one is April 27th, 2025. We will have an in-person one in June 29th, 2025 in the Fumbley Stables. So the Superhero Satsang and one-to-one sessions, you'll find it all at velvetvoice.ie.
Amazing. I highly recommend go work with Tommy. Not for the faint-hearted, but you have to be interested. Like, I sit with people say, how much do you want peace? How much do you want love? Or is it just smoke bullshit?
Yeah.
You have to want this.
Yeah.
Because if you, as Jeff Thompson would say to me, it's called proximity.
Yeah.
You will be spit out if you come into this proximity, and you will be spit out by love. You know, darkness finds light very hard to handle.
Yeah.
So you have to be honest with yourself, but I would highly recommend go to the Satsang, link up with Tommy. He's an amazing human being. And I can say truly, truly and deeply now that I love you.
Yeah, I love you too.
Like,
it's great. It's great. It's great.
I fucking love this man. He's taught me and given me so much love by just watching what he does and how he lives his life. It's incredible. So that's a wrap. Please share that with family and friends. Give us a 5-star rating on all the platforms.
Cool, yeah.
I will end all podcasts by thanking this man here, Rooney Media Graphics, my pal Niall Reilly. If you need any graphic design done, they're your guys. Thanks to Lisa and Sandra from Shannon's Hopeline doing amazing work here in the Liberties. Thanks to you for listening. Thanks to my pals here at 90 Mead Street, the Liberties Community Project, for allowing me to stay here. I absolutely love them. Austin Campbell is an amazing man. That is the CEO, and he's been so kind to me. All predicated on love. Have a fantastic day. Be kind, be gentle. Don't go starting any fires today. Just don't do it. Put the canister down, and don't be go ringing the 999. They have enough going on. They don't need you with your bullshit. Adios, amigos.
God bless.
I will run, I will climb, I will soar. I'm undefeated. Oh, jumping out of my skin, pull the cord. Yeah, I believe it. Oh, the past is everything we were. Don't make us who we are. So I'll dream until I make it real, and all I see is stars. It's not until you fall that you fly. When your dreams come alive, you're unstoppable. Take a shot, chase the sun, find the beautiful. We will glow in the dark, turning dust to gold, and we'll dream